Welcome to the PTTS. Today's date is February 6, 2023, Monday. My name is Nang Hong Lam. Well, for the last few days, from a few to some days of time, I did play some video game of Injustice, Gods Among Us. Play some video games of that, and also did some brainstorming of the HeroClick 2 and Versus System 2. Anyway, so I was trying to I made some videos in this using this camcorder, which kind of in a way like a rehearsal to these videos. It's kind of in a way, but it's just there was one or two of them that I cuss out loud in those videos. Is about it's kind of in a way. I felt that it's I already say this before, it's just been saying if someone, probably it is a joke to someone, someone is think all the activities in my life is like a joke to that person, it's very funny and things like that. Maybe just because of the different values and belief to them, it's like a funny joke and things like that. Maybe it's these things that I just couldn't really get myself to go through with it, because I don't think it's funny, and I think that that I understand about the whole sense of humor and things like that, so in a way, there are because of having, the topic about people, about that sense of having some sort of sense of humor, and the acknowledgement of comedy and things like that. There are, these things have, so in a way, I have got into these topics before, sense of humor, comedy, sense of humor, and all of that, I have talked about these topics before, and so kind of in a way, I think it's just probably I just didn't want to go through with it, people arguing that, I probably just don't have sense of humor and don't know anything about comedy and things like that, and that, that there are people who think my video is funny, it's very funny to them and things like that, and I just don't have a sense of humor, and I don't know anything about comedy and things like that. So in a way, maybe that's what is bothering me. That's what is creating conflicts to my life, because I'm just very I don't understand about, that's the argument. I don't have any kind of sense of humor. I don't know anything about comedy and things like that, and people just think that my video is very funny and things like that, and I don't think it's funny. And so anyway, pretty much I just want to point out that the joke is going too far, and I don't think it's funny. So anyway, just want to point that out, and also that I have done over 100 hours of videos where I speak in front of the camcorder. I'm speaking in front of the camcorder while I'm recording myself speaking in front of the camcorder. So I have created over 100 hours of this, and also have typed over 1,000 pages of articles. Both of them, the articles and the videos is about my life, the situations in my life, and the activities in my life. It's just So kind of like in a way, for those who felt all those things that I have done, it's just like in a way it's like funny to them, you know. It's just kind of like, you know, a very cheap way to get jokes in comedy. If they think that is something that, you know, that it's very a cheap way to get jokes in comedy, I just don't think it's funny. But at the same time, you know, I just can't control like the different values and belief of every person, you know. So I just don't think it's funny. I just want to point that out, that if people think it's a joke, it's funny, I just want to point out that it's not funny. So anyway, I'm just going to continue. Anyway, I wanted to point out, okay, so I just want to read out loud what I have so far for the brainstorm for DC and Marvel Hero Click 2 and DC and Marvel versus System 2 story. So I'm just gonna read what I have so far. It's not much, you know. It's like I just don't want to create any more arguments. It's just like there was. Okay, before I start reading it, I just don't want to get into any more arguments, because those arguments might create more arguments and conflicts to my life. Like the example I used was like for both the versus system and the hero click. These are hero clicks, and the versus system. These are versus, well, just like the. So anyway, these are the commons and uncommons ones. I mean, most of the. I have 4,000 cards, so most of the rare, like the higher rarity ones, I have are in the decks I constructed. These are like just some of them like the high rarity rares ones. So anyway, so again, I have 4,000 cards for the versus system, and the hero clicks. I have, whoa, just like boxes of it. Like, no, like it's really. So anyway, we're just like, well, especially, well, it's just the different, like the whole, kind of like the whole argument of it. It's like, the argument was, I felt that it's like the people who have never seen Hero Click or Versus before, Versus System. People who have never seen Hero Click or Versus System before, and it's like, and I'm trying to argue that maybe I wanted, you know, more like kind of like in a way like to that, you know, I could have done better, you know, on it, and kind of like in a way at the same time, you know, people who have never seen the Hero Click and Versus System before, and it's like there's just what's making those arguments that, you know, I could have done better. It's just kind of like in a way it's just like there's that misunderstanding. I'm making fun of those people, you know, who have never seen Hero Click or Versus, or maybe they only got like a few, you know, like like their friends from a few figures, or a few cards from their friends and things like that. So I just want to, basically that's the argument. And I mean, new players and things, you know, like I supposedly, you know, like kind of like in a way to avoid those kind of arguments and things like that. And it's just, I felt that I couldn't have done all of that by myself, it just felt that, I shouldn't make fun of people like that, it's just knowing that, I didn't do all of that by myself, built my card collections, my figure collections, and accumulated those, like 60 first places for the HeroClix Pro Tour / tournaments, and 10 first places for the Versus System, drafted Versus System Pro Tour / tournament. So it's just like, I just want to point it, my build-up collections and my first places, I couldn't do all that by myself, there's gotta, so just don't want to, so basically that's the argument. It's just, so anyway, just want to point that out, and especially these elites, these are called elites one, like with the gold ring around on the bottom, and they come in these boxes, and you can't purchase them in the store. You have to get a first place in the HeroClix Pro Tour / tournament to get one of these. So it's like you can't purchase them in the store and things like that. So especially these ones, like, I remember back then, like before, like just starting to join the HeroClix Pro Tour / tournament, and it's just like there's time, trying to get to those Pro Tour / tournaments as early as possible because of the limited supplies on the elite figures that they have. Sometimes even you got first place, they are already out of the supplies, and so you have to get the booster pack. If they're out of these elite one, you get like 3 to 6 booster packs. So it's just like, trying to hurry to those HeroClix Pro Tour / tournament as soon as possible and things like that. It's just, trying to explain about these concepts as in my article. It's just like, I really like, again, and it's just like what it means to have one of these elite figures and things like that, and it's kind of like, okay, so anyway, like I'm just saying, even for those who have joined the HeroClix Pro Tour / tournament before, might not even get a chance to see one of these elite figures before. So it's like, so it's just, I just felt that I don't know, maybe it's just, could be like, there were a few times I were in those HeroClix Pro Tour / tournament where they were out of these elite figures, and you have to get a booster pack instead, like the coordinator was giving out booster pack instead of these elite figures. So there were a few times which supposedly it's uncommon, it's considered a rare occasion when it's run out, because you usually have the supplies is enough, but there are times when there are these rare occasions that they're out of those elite figures. So anyway, I'm just pointing this out. Okay, so alright, so basically I just want to avoid those arguments, so I just wanted to I feel like, I know, there's just that argument, just stay away, just don't, it is you who started the argument,